Like a bowl.
Alright ladies, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video is on my course, Natural Chemistry. This is a bonus section. I don't know if I should post the whole thing. This is the bonus section, a bonus video on how to get to know a guy. I mean, how to communicate with your man. This part is about how to understand his strengths and weaknesses. So I know you guys are really gonna like this. And again, this is one of those bonus videos that I'm doing, and the course is coming out in about like 4 days. So if you guys want to get in the VIP list, where you guys can get a discount on that course, just go to the link below and get on that, because you could also receive a free gift only for the first 30 buyers. No, I think it's 60. I gotta check. Only for the first 30. I gotta check. 30 or 60, will you get that free gift? All right. So if you purchase it and you're like the 61st buyer, you ain't getting that free gift, girl. Sorry about that. Go. You gotta get it. You gotta get it a little bit earlier. All right. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I look like Paul Revere, man. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I also have a 50% off on all of my courses. On the just get the discount code on the description down below. 50% off until January 1st. My marketing dude said, bro, you gotta get this discount. People will like it. I know it's the end of the year, so just get it out there before your course comes out. So I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So with the coupon in the description down below, you get 50% off my course only until January 1st, people. All right. So see you guys inside, and I hope to see you guys in my course. All right. Peace out. All right. So let's talk about how to understand a man's weaknesses. All right. Now, mind you, the reason why you need to understand man's weakness is because a man's weakness and his strength is because it'll allow you to have a better understanding on his character. And understanding a man's character by simply, and this is the thing, ladies, is that what I'm teaching you guys is simply ways to understand them. Because once you understand them, then you're able to communicate with them properly. The problem with most communication is that it's usually one-sided, usually trying to be understood. And I can promise you, by trying to understand, you're gonna communicate a lot more effectively. You just will, because you're not gonna be creating misunderstandings no more. You see what I'm saying? And misunderstanding is one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest um, conflict things in relationships. You see what I'm saying? So let's go about this, right? The first problem with understanding a man's strength and weakness is that people attempt to conceal their weaknesses and highlight their strength. So if you buy in to appearances, which is something that I'm teaching you in this course not to do, if you buy into it, you're going to be misled, led astray, and run amok. And you're going to be deceived. You see what I'm saying? What you got to do is learn to see through the smoke screens. And the smoke screens that people throw at you is in the form of the strengths, in the form of one-sided strengths, which we're going to discuss, right? And also their words, right? Their words, baby, I just had a moment. I was just mad at one time. You see what I'm saying? So that's the first problem, because we trust people's appearances a lot, right? Humans, let me tell you something. Humans are the only animal. A lion, you could tell by just looking at a lion, it's dangerous. And a snake, just look at a snake, you can't trust that motherfucker, right? But humans are the only animals that you can't tell who's the most dangerous one. You can have a group of people, and sometimes the most dangerous looking one is the most docile one, and most of the time the quietest one is the most dangerous one. So that's a problem with understanding humans and trying to almost like put them in a box. You really can't, right? And the next thing is that they next problem is that they try to, you usually see a guy, and you usually deal with him based on the reputation. So you usually see the guy's reputation. So let's just say that you have your own projections, right? And you already have bad arguments with him. And in your head, you think he's the kind of person that thinks he's always right. In your head, you think he's the kind of person that is stubborn, right? So in your head, you already have a reputation of him. You really believe he's a certain way. For example, it's like with me and my mom when I was younger. I used to see her, the way she acted, and I used to see it as though she just never wanted to admit that she was wrong, right? So everything that she did, I just assumed that she was just being stubborn. Or let's just say something bad happened to her. In my mind, I will assume that she's just being the victim. Why? Because I'm like, Mom, you're acting like you don't know English when you know goddamn well you know English. Stop trying to act like you don't speak English. Come on, mom, man up, right? That's the way I would think of her, right? And so when she needed help, I would just say, here we go again, her acting like the victim, acting like she doesn't know English, and I just wouldn't help her, right? But thinking back at it, I realized that I was just dealing with I was just, I never renewed my perception of her. I was always running under a automatic response. Oh, she's just acting like she needs help. She's just acting like she needs help. When in reality, a lot of the time, she needed help. She just, from time to time, she really did act like she didn't need help. She needed help, but sometimes she just needed the help, right? And so it caused me to assume things about her and not really understand her. So that I would just push her away because I'm like, you know what, man, don't be asking me. You know, goddamn well how to deal with that yourself, right? So that's my reputation of her. You see what I'm saying? So what you want to do is be able to find a way to separate who you think they are with who they are. And that requires effort. And that requires understanding. And that requires that you stop trying to get them to understand you. So now when my mom asks for help, I'm always trying to understand why. Almost as though you're studying a plant in a forest. You're trying to understand this human. You're trying to understand like why is this human the way they are. So now she says, I need help with this. And I help her, but at the same time, I'm trying to say, okay, let's see what can I learn from her. You're trying to like, it's not just you doing things, it's not just you're going with the flow, but you're trying to see what new can you learn about this person. You're actively trying to see what you could learn by this person, like the active part. It takes effort. And if you don't do this and you don't put in the effort, there's gonna come a point where you're just gonna go in automatic mode, and then just begin to assume. And the problem with that is that you think you have evidence. I know the way you are, motherfucker, man. I can't trust you. I know the way you are. You see that kind of thought, like I know the way you are. Yeah, you might know the way they are, but you're turning into somebody who is not thinking now. Now you're just like assuming, stereotyping. You see what I'm saying? So what you want to do is always be exploring the person. Don't allow your view of the person to remain static, and always try to understand them with compassion. You see what I'm saying? Like with compassion, not out of like, I got you, bitch. No, it's more like, okay. Assume that people inside are weak and in pain, and treat them accordingly, unless they're narcissists, which we talked about. We ain't talking about the narcissistic people, ladies and gentlemen. So let's find out. Hold on a second. What to watch out for? Well, how they solve problems, right? How do they solve problems? Do they usually panic, or do they think straight? Right? This is how you could tell a person's strengths and weaknesses. Do you notice they solve this kind of problem better than this kind of problem? Right? You wanna actively look for how they solve problems. This will tell you a lot about their strengths and weaknesses. The next thing is patterns in their past. That people, you gotta realize that people never do things just once, right? And remember, and it comes down, like I know I said don't just assume things, but also assume things, right? Also, if you know that somebody never pays somebody back, are you gonna lend them money? You see what I'm saying? So you want to use find ways to find patterns. Always be actively looking for patterns, and always remember this about people. People never do things just once. Whenever you see somebody, if you see somebody fighting at the gym, most likely they fought in the past. If you see somebody going to jail, most likely they've been to jail. If somebody's being a dick to you, most likely they've been a dick to somebody else. If somebody's being nice to you, most likely they're being nice to somebody else. Always remember, if somebody cheats on you once, most likely they cheated in the past, and they'll cheat in the near future. Always remember, people never do things just once. When somebody does something, always try to find out and think your way into their head and see how they may have repeated that pattern, or how that pattern comes out in different ways in different areas of life. You see what I'm saying? If someone's an asshole and he's a priest, he's gonna be a priest who's an asshole. If somebody's a nice guy, he becomes a priest, he's gonna bring his niceness to the priestlyhood. You see what I'm saying? If someone's a pedophile and he becomes a priest, he's gonna bring the pedophilia to the priesthood. You see what I'm saying? That's what you gotta understand. People never do things just once, right? If a priest molested somebody, they'll molest somebody else again. Oh yeah. The next thing is the decisions they've made in the past. Decisions in terms of the quality of the decision, right? Or for example, they continually keep getting the wrong partners. They continually are getting unintended consequences. They're shocked by the consequences of their lives. They always find the same partner. They always find themselves in just bad financial situations. They always purchase the wrong thing. They're always getting in debt. They're always dating the assholes. For some reason, you're the nice girl, and he's like, you know what, man, I'll stop dating strippers, man. I'm gonna quit dating strippers, man. You know what I'm saying? Always remember that you want to judge somebody based on the decisions they made. If you notice that somebody keeps getting in debt, if somebody keeps borrowing money to live a certain lifestyle continually, that is a reflection of their character. You want to look for other things that reflect that. Don't look at what they say. They might say that they're very stable and that they're rational, but notice the things they purchase. Notice the decisions they made, where they moved, the people who they hang around with, the kind of clothes they choose to wear, right? The kind of career path they choose to take, or the kind of career path they choose not to take. You see what I'm saying? Judge them on that. And that is a very easy thing to do, because all you gotta do is just explore and ask. You see? The next thing is how they work with others. You know, are they collaborative, or do they try to take control? Right? When they work with you as a partner, do you notice that they ask you for your question, for your decision, for your opinion, or do they always try to do things themselves, or do they make you do everything? Excuse me. That's a reflection of who they are, and you don't want to ignore that. And it's not that you're just going to judge them on that, but you're going to bring everything together into one whole big profile. You're making a case for that person. Right? How they handle failure and success. Do you notice they blame the other person? Or do you notice they blame themselves? Do you notice they take responsibility? Or do you notice they talk bad on somebody and they blame the higher ups? Do you notice they blame their people below them? Do you notice that in their relationships, for some reason, they're always the one that's right? Right? Or when they succeed, do you notice they start feeling different? They start feeling separate. They start feeling like they're special. They start assuming that just because they succeeded somewhere, they're going to succeed in every area. You know what I'm saying? You want to judge, and that's a big one, to be honest with you. Like success and money and failure and power will reveal a lot of who they are. Like for me, example, I ain't bragging, people, but it does shock people when they know that I'm a YouTuber and I just don't tell them, you know? Like, I accidentally told my family yesterday, and they were like, their fucking jaws dropped. They're like, I was like, fuck, I made a mistake, right? But it's kind of like they were shocked because they just wouldn't tell. They will not be able to tell, but just looking at the way I behave, the way I talk about myself, they can't tell because I make that intentional. You know, I want to be able to be more, not low key, but you know, it's you know, I want to be able to, you know, it's no big deal, right? But a lot of people will suck that in and talk about that all the time and make that part of their identity. That's a reflection of their character. And you want to find a way to see how does that reflect the other parts of who they are. Notice how they handle daily affairs. If they're late once, they might be late again. And they might be late all the time. If they don't pay attention to details and small things, they'll do the same thing with bigger things. They won't pay attention to details and big things. You see what I'm saying? It's like Sun Tzu once said, running, he said in the Art of War, managing an army of 100 is the same as managing an army of 100,000. Same thing. It's just at a bigger scale. If you're not detail oriented when you're learning how to draw, you're not gonna be detail oriented once you have a big project. You see what I'm saying? If you're not a focused kid when you're small, and actually no, but the point is that notice how they handle their daily things. Do they pay attention to detail, or do they not? You know what I'm saying? Are they always procrastinating with those things? Bring all of that into the equation to judge this person's strengths and weaknesses. And then you'll be able to have a better expectation and not get frustrated when you assume he's one way and in reality he's another. This will give you a broader picture of who this person is. Is there a discrepancy between what they say and do? Do they act like saint? Do they say pay their debts and they're in debt? Are they hypocrites about that? Do they talk about how they're so good with everybody, but they're the biggest assholes in the world? Do they talk about loyalty and then they snitch on and then they snitch on your ass when it's time to pay up? Notice between what they say, how they live their lives, and how they really live their lives. Look for one-sided traits, and then look for the opposite. If he's a hyper masculine man, look for femininity behind that. Men who are hyper masculine tend to be very self-consumed with their appearance. They tend to have a suppressed anima, a female nature that's inside that's suppressed. If somebody comes or is always talking about how responsible they are, or about how strong, mentally strong they are, look for signs of mental weakness inside. Look for signs of emotional weakness. Just look for it. Anytime somebody acts so powerful on one side, just make it an exercise or make it a muscle to just actively look for the opposite. Not to try to call them out on it, but to try to understand them. You see, you want to look for the contours of people's shadow. You know, you don't want to look at the flat, two-dimensional version of who they tell you they are, because they only tell you the good things about them. Next thing is look for emotional outburst. This will come with apologizing and a desire for you to imagine the outburst was just a one-time thing. Baby, I didn't mean to slap the living shit out of you. My hand just moved. I just had a moment. I just was a little drunk. You know, maybe, boss, I didn't mean to tell you to suck my dick. I was just had a frustrating day, boss. Please don't fire me. You know, I didn't mean to break up with you. I didn't mean to tell you have a small dick. I didn't mean to tell you that you think you know everything. That's not talking about me, people. Okay, the second one is, I remember one girl, she was like, you think you know everything. You act like you know everything. And I'm like, bitch, I don't think I know everything. I even say I don't think I know everything. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know, so it's kind of like look for those emotional outbursts. Again, just because somebody's drunk don't mean they're lying. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody's drunk don't mean they're lying. Just because somebody's drunk don't... Because Shannon Sharp says this. He says, there are two people who tell you the truth. Kids and drunk people. No, three people. Kids, drunk people, and mad people. But you know what? That's because they're being honest. That's because their social side is not telling them, hey, don't say that or else you'll fuck up our chances. No. Who they are came out. You see what I'm saying? So look for those emotional outbursts. You know, moments when they tell you the truth. That's why you can't keep a boyfriend. I told that once to somebody. But that was true. You know what I'm saying? I once told my mom, I wish you die. That was true at that time. I don't wish she dies anymore, right? But those emotional outbursts, I mean, like if I tell you I wish you die, I mean, I didn't mean that, people, all right? But you know what I'm saying? Like the point is that you wanted them to go somewhere else, all right? Notice the people who they admire and why. Do they admire 50 Cent? Notice, for example, if you notice, there's a lot, like if you notice villains, people admire like the Joker. But why is that? Because there's a Joker inside of every one of us. A lot of guys admire Don Corleone, Al Pacino. It's because a lot of them want to be gangsters. A lot of them want to have that dark side that they can't bring out. It tells you a lot about a person, who they admire and why they admire them. Me, I admire Michelangelo because of his work ethic and his passion for art. I admire Leonardo da Vinci for the same thing. I admire Robert Greene for the same thing. I hate James Harden and Westbrook because of how selfish they play. So what does that say about me? That says that I hate selfish players. What does that say about me? That says that I wish I have the ball in my hand more. That says I want to exert more control. And I just hate the fact that you're controlling the game. That's a sign of helplessness. You know, when I say I admire Michelangelo, that means that it might mean that I sort of believe that I could do more, maybe. You know, like you want to look for why people admire this person, and you could just let them talk about it. You know, and you can easily tell a lot about them or who they hate. You see what I'm saying? Like, who do I hate? I hate I don't know, who do I hate? LaMelo Ball, right? I hate LaMelo Ball because he's overrated as fuck. I mean, that motherfucker's overrated as hell. He's a basketball player. He's overrated as hell. That dude is so ass, and he's like, they talk about him like he's the fucking second coming, right? But what does that say about me, right? I hate that, but deep down, if you pay attention to me, I play basketball, right? Every basketball player wants to be liked, right? So it could be some jealousy, the desire to have what he wants, right? And that might not, I mean, that might be just a little side thing about me, but it may not be a reflection of who I am. That just might be one little thing. But the point is that you want to ask yourself those questions. You want to really, really dive into those parts of the person, because that's how you really really get to know the person, when you actively look for those things. Next thing is look for contrary behavior. Like I say, if he's super masculine, see what's behind that. If he hates gay people, see what's behind that. If he acts like a saint and hates sinners, see what's behind that. When they're drunk or under the influence, notice their behavior. That's a big part. That's a big part right there, to be honest with you. And they'll tell you, please don't pay attention. I was just drunk. Nah, bitch, you weren't drunk. Your real self came out. Notice what they conceal from their parents and what they reveal around you. Notice what they conceal to their parents and the things that they choose to reveal. And notice the difference between him at home and him with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, pay attention to those things. Like, the little parts that he suppresses and the parts that he doesn't suppress. Because that means that the parts that he doesn't suppress, that he does bring out when his parents are not around, are parts of his more wild side. Are parts of this are a little bit closer to his dark side. See what I'm saying? And I was gonna say, notice how he acts around his friends, but you'll never find out. Oops, sorry about that. I'm on camera, right? And that's how the cookie crumbles. See what I'm saying? It's one of those things that you just have to pay attention. That's all you got to do. Just pay attention to those things. All right. All right. So on to the next video. All right. Again, this section is about communicating with your man. And I know you guys might be like, so where's the part where I talk to him? Where's the part that I communicate what I want? Bitch, please. All right. We're talking about communicating with him, and the most important thing is understanding. I can promise you, if you just do this, you're gonna notice his defenses will be a lot lower, because you're not gonna be as defensive no more. You're gonna be more open to understand them. Again, this doesn't work with abusive, or physically, verbally abusive, or with narcissists. Those are the only people who I just say, if you're in that situation, go get some help. I can't help you with that. Does that make sense? You know? And that's how the cookie crumbles, ladies and gentlemen. All right, see you guys in the next video.
All right, ladies, so this is the course that all of you guys have been asking me for, and it's the psychological game of attraction. This is pretty much the course that will make any man beg to want to commit with you. This is the course that I wish, I'll be honest with you, if I was a woman, this is the kind of course that I want, because it's a course that's specifically geared to help you understand how guys fall in love, and how to do it in a systematic way that's almost predictable, right? So let me show you guys how this course is set up. By the way, there's a 30-day money back guaranteed on this course. So if you guys don't like it, you guys will get money back. Look, let me show you how it's done, right? So it's split up in a few sections. The first section is the introduction, obviously, what to expect from it. After that is I'm giving you an understanding of the psychology of attraction, right? Because you need to understand that dating is a game. You need to think strategically, that there are certain laws of human nature that you cannot break, and just a few things of why people love each other. You know, it's very important to have a realistic expectation. After that, we go into the three phases of every relationship. They all go in these three phases, and these phases could overlap each other at times, right? The first phase is the pre-honeymoon period. It is when you first know the person, or it is when you're becoming acquaintance with the guy, or it is when you guys broke up or and are back together, or it is when you guys had a long period of you guys not knowing each other and now you guys want to rekindle things. This works in any point of the relationship that you need to spark interest and curiosity. So these videos are specific for that. Specific to create curiosity, how to get to know the guy the right way, using your non-verbals, how to create a powerful reputation. It's truly powerful stuff. After that is the honeymoon period. This honeymoon period is what and is how to get from curiosity to interest to creating a deep connection. So all of these videos are specifically geared to that. Not the 30, no. These specific videos are there for this phase, and this phase is any phase. You guys are having a good, happy moment. You guys just got back together, and now you feel that peak. You feel that happiness that you guys felt. That's what this is, right? So these videos are there for that, creating a lonely fantasy, the preemptive breakup, the triangle of love, using words to control his man. It's powerful stuff. After that is the post honeymoon period, and again is a short list of videos because these videos are there to solidify the connection that you already created. So if you just had an incredible moment, or you just came out of a vacation with a guy and everything went well, you better use this phase, because if you don't do this, he's gonna become disenchanted. It's just how it is. These are very specific videos, and if you and all you gotta do is just say, all right, where am I? I tell you where you guys are, and you just watch the video. It's pretty much like being coached by me. You got some bonus videos: stop being nice, dealing with the inevitable, how to deal with breakup, how to deal with getting over a dude. This is the how to overcome manipulation, identifying manipulation, deterring manipulation, defending yourself against manipulation, what to do if you're already in a manipulative relationship, and how to avoid them through detachment. It's pretty much an extremely succinct and laser focused course. Not one waste of motion. That's why I love it. And there's a 30-day money back guarantee if you guys don't like it. No questions asked, people. All right. And if you guys want to support this channel, this is how you support it. And I hope you guys enjoy this. All right. See you guys inside.